All right, guys. So typically I'd have you on a tripod when I'm making this video, but I have each one of the dogs kind of placing on their own spot around the corner of the houses as we talk about desensitizing them to a lot of these conditioned stimuluses. So if I had it on a tripod, you might only see like one of the dogs. We're just going to kind of walk around and uh, kind of show you how each one of them are interacting. Right now, we just have the Roomba going on, where again, when we're talking about desensitizing a lot of these conditioned stimuluses, what that means is our dogs have kind of picked up on habits that we might not have fully realized they picked up on or realized how we could have been able to kind of change the outcome of it. And what that means is every time somebody knocks on the door, they bark. Every time we grab their leash, they get excited. Whenever there's a vacuum, they get fearful. There's all these different kind of things that can happen throughout the day. Another really common one is when we go into the pantry that has their dog food in it. Might also be the pantry that has the canned corn in it, right? Or something similar. We want them to understand, okay, cool. That does not mean come and bum rush me every time I go into this pantry. So, the way that we kind of get them used to that is by showing them different pictures. And when we're showing them different pictures, it means as in, I will go and I will grab their food bowl 50 times, fill it with food, unfill it, fill it with food, unfill it, right? Where the dog's like, okay, cool, just because mom and dad refills everything with food does not mean that I'm initially getting fed at this moment. Or every single time there's knocking, because sometimes dogs just get so ingrained with hearing knocking and barking, they can physically see you knock on something and they'll bark. Again, none of these dogs typically have that problem. The biggest one that I've seen with them is typically the. Did you just catch a fly midair? Good job, dude. The one that I see with this class is more like the vacuum stuff, right? When the Roomba's going on, or when I'm going to start vacuuming over here or sweeping, these dogs tend to get a little bit more fearful, right? Where Wolfie is very kind of fearful of it, and Little Bear kind of, I don't know if he's fearful or what he is, but he wanted to chase it at one point. So again, we're just kind of going over, just allowing them to see all the commotion around the house that they're going to see on a daily basis. And then if we have to reset them, then we can just reset them. That's the easy part on all this part. But we want them to understand, cool, this is daily life. Nothing's going on around it. Nothing's getting crazy. Good. No. Ah, down. You just got a bunch of energy. No, down. All right, so just small things, and this is something. Again, when we talk about dogs that have fears, right? We're talking about thunderstorms, fireworks, um, again, knocking at the door, any of those crazy things. Your best friend is just go and have it in a controlled place, right? When there's the 4th of July happened, and you guys were kind of worried on how your dogs would react to the fireworks, the biggest thing that we can always remember is that if we go and we just allow our dogs to go and hide and kind of have their own little chaos, it's never going to fix it. But if we go and we kind of keep them in this nice controlled area of, okay, cool, we're going to put you on your place, we're going to put you in the down, we're going to do whatever it needs to be in order to get you to settle, then they're able to kind of see all of those fearful things in a little bit more of a controlled way. No, down. No, down. Since he's the only one reacting, we're just going to keep coming over by Churro real quick. Until he's like, okay, cool, there's no reason. Oh, boy. No reason to react. Come over by Wolfie. Good. So, went ahead, put the vacuum up. Again, letting the dogs kind of just settle here. Went ahead and just put my dog on the bed with Churro because, again, when Churro first came in here, he was terrified of big dogs. Again, where I'm not trying to teach him that all big dogs are friendly, but I also want him to kind of understand that, cool, there can be bigger dogs around you, and I don't really need you to worry about it. Stitch, leave the flies alone. Down. So, with going through this, again, we had a birthday today. So that's what all this mess is for. But there's things where I can go, we can start knocking on the doors. We can start doing all these things where, again, I don't imagine these guys are more of the reactors because I haven't seen it at all. But it's always good just to go practice, do it on random walls if it ever does happen. And just that is where something, if you have a spouse that is at work and you understand that they are going to come home, tell them, hey, knock on the door before you come inside. All right, let's stitch. No. Let's practice. Let's do all this kind of things that we can do. Good boy. Just knocking. And all this stuff plays a valuable role in all this. No. And the reason that is because the number one thing that we can do it a service to our dogs is by allowing them to continue having these little anxiety attacks, these little fearful episodes. And again, the only way that we are going to be able to get them through that is by pushing them through it. If we're just constantly saying our dogs are reactive to knocking, to doorbells, to the vacuum, to mopping, to cars, to everything that they're always going to feel anxious about, and we just kind of put a band-aid over it, we're not really helping them out. So there's just little things that we can do throughout the day. Another big one, especially with your food motivated dogs, is getting a bowl of food and showing them, putting the food in there and showing them, hey, just because I grabbed your food, fill it up, does not mean you get to bum rush me, right? We're going to kind of go over that with the resource guarding on how you can feed your dog and how you can kind of make your dog have a little bit of structure behind all those sorts of things as well. But feeding, there are some dogs that they get super, excited or anxious anytime mom and dad grabs the keys, or they grab their leash, or they put their shoes on. They start picking up on a lot of these things. So that is where, again, the number one way that you're going to work them through these kind of scenarios is just by practicing it, right? Practicing it in the small moments. Don't just practice it when you have to leave, right? Because then you have to leave, you have somewhere to be. Do it while you guys are just sitting around the house and you're like, you know what? Let's practice this now. Good boy. But that's really the biggest part when it comes down to desensitizing these conditioned stimuluses that our dogs have built up, because it's so easy to overlook and it's so easy to make excuses for and to say, oh, they're just a dog, that's what dogs are supposed to do. And it's very easy to kind of help them kind of get over those irrational fears, which is what we've been doing since day one, is helping them get over a lot of these irrational fears that dogs tend to have. Yeah, just like Churro. I mean, his fear isn't irrational. He's scared of big dogs, which, I mean, he weighs 5 pounds and he's next to a 60-pound dog. Right? It's not really an irrational fear, but I want him to build up the confidence. I want him to understand, okay, cool. Mom, dad, Jeff, whoever's handling leash isn't going to let anything bad happen to you. And with Wolfie, you got a 70-pound dog, or, potentially 80-pound when he gets, at his peak. But I want him to understand all those irrational fears can be okay, because all it takes for him to get fearful of something, bolt off to try to run. Next thing you know, you guys are getting pulled to the ground. And that can be the same thing with Bear, because, again, he's going to be a big boy. So it's like we want to kind of get a lot of these rapid increases of emotion, right? That rapid increase of the arousal curve taken care of pretty early.